Across my career, I've interviewed at companies in finance, healthcare, defense, biotech, and even AI infrastructure. And what I found is that no matter the industry, the same 10 questions keep showing up. So in this video, I'll go through each of them, starting from the least common to the most common, and share what they mean and how to approach them. Let's get into it. Let's start with item 10, the bias variance trade-off and regularization. This one's a classic in machine learning interviews, but it's worth knowing even if ML isn't your daily job. You'll often hear, describe the bias variance trade-off or explain regularization and why you'd use it. Here's the short version. The bias variance trade-off is about finding balance between underfitting and overfitting. High bias means the model's too simple, it misses patterns, and high variance means the model's too complex, it memorizes noise in the data. Usually, as bias goes up, variance goes down, and vice versa. There's a sweet spot in between where the total error is the lowest. Then, for regularization, it adds a penalty to prevent overfitting, and there are two main types of regularization. One is called L1, which is lasso. It zeroes out the weaker features, which makes it good for feature selection. And then L2 regularization is also called ridge regression. It shrinks coefficients towards zero without removing them. It's useful when you still want all the features, but need stability in general. That's it. Clean, confident, correct. So that brings us to number 9, building trustworthy AI systems. This one comes up constantly, especially in healthcare and defense. They'll ask, how do you make sure your AI systems are secure, compliant, and trustworthy? Think in 3 layers here. 1 is privacy guardrails, remove or mask personally identifiable info. Don't let the model scrape random or unsafe data. And then the second layer is structure and traceability. Log the model version, the timestamp, confidence score, anything that helps to reproduce a result. And number 3 is auditability and rollback. You should always know what generated an answer and be able to revert to a saved version. In short, you're showing you can make AI not just smart, but also safe. For this next question, every interview includes this one. Tell me about a time you disagreed with a teammate or stakeholder. The point isn't who was right, it's how you handled it. Set the context briefly, such as we had different opinions about how to solve a problem, then say I listened, we compared data and trade-offs, and we agreed on what best served the business. Keep emotion out of it, focus on listening, collaboration, and learning. That's the mature answer that they're hoping for. Number 7 is about showing impact, not just activity. At senior levels, this becomes huge. They'll ask you, what impact did your work have? Or how do you measure success? Don't stop at responsibilities, show results. Use metrics, such as on the business side, say you reduced mean time to resolution by 30%, and on the technical side, you can say, cut inference latency from 200 milliseconds to 60 milliseconds. Anything measurable that proves that your work created value, time saved, cost reduced, accuracy improved, that's what turns a good answer into a great answer. This one's everywhere in machine learning roles, but you'll hear versions of it in other jobs also. How do you evaluate your models? Don't stop at accuracy, also mention precision, recall, an F1 score, which is the harmonic mean of both precision and recall. And then if you're working with natural language processing, you can also talk about blue or rouge. If it's production, you can talk about latency and drift as well. Explain drift clearly. When production data changes and no longer looks like your training data, performance slides so you track it. Also mention CI/CD, continuous integration delivery, or continuous testing. It shows that you think about maintaining models, not just building them. This next one is designing reliable ML systems or reliable systems in general. As you move up in the ranks, this one becomes standard. How would you design a machine learning system that's reliable and observable, they might ask. If it's machine learning specific, they might say, build a recommendation engine or design a model registry. If it's general, they might ask about caching, APIs, or databases. Your structure is simple: clarify requirements, list components, and discuss trade-offs. Cost, latency, and scalability. If you mention why you'd pick certain tools, Kafka for streaming, Redis for caching, that makes you sound practical, not theoretical. This one's very common and easy to get wrong. They ask, why do you want to work here specifically? There are two traps to avoid for this. First, never ever badmouth your current job. And second, don't just make it all about you and what you want. Instead, connect their mission to your skills. For example, I've spent years building systems that have to be reliable and auditable. That aligns really well with what your team does. You're showing fit and not just frustration. An end-to-end project story. They want to know if you've really built something meaningful. Tell me about a project you deployed end-to-end. Explain 4 things: the problem you solved, the approach you took, the implementation, and the impact of what you did. For example, someone might say something like, I built an AI summarizer that unified multiple dashboards for security analysts. It saved about 6 hours of manual review time per week. Then finish with a reflection, such as, if I did it again, I'd automate evaluation earlier. That single line shows growth and that you think like an engineer. Towards the end of your interview, you might often get asked, where do you want to grow next? What motivates you? Or another variant of this is, where do you want to be in the next 5 years? They're checking alignment. Say something that fits naturally with the job. I want to deepen my work in AI systems that bridge research and production and eventually lead reliability-focused projects. Avoid goals that sound unrelated to the job. You can be ambitious, just make sure it grows in the same direction as the role. Finally, the question that everyone gets, to nobody's surprise, is the most common. Tell me about yourself. It sounds very open-ended, but what they really mean is, why does your background make sense for this particular job? Use this simple 3-part structure. In the present, what you do now; in the past, how you got here; and in the future, why this particular role fits. An example might be, right now I'm on an application security team using AI to summarize and triage risk data. I started in software engineering and moved into applied machine learning because I love solving practical problems with data. Now I want to bring that blend of AI reliability and security awareness to a larger, more impactful environment that's clear, relevant, and confident. Those are the 10 most common questions that I've seen across the industries of finance, healthcare, biotech, defense, and AI infrastructure. If you can answer each of these naturally, you'll be ready for almost any interview. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to see a follow-up where I walk through example answers or slides for each, make sure to subscribe and stick around.